Brooks Koepka versus Dustin Johnson. Who has the most optimal swing? What's up, guys? It's your favorite Kiwi coach. Let's go do this thing. Alright guys, so if you guys are new to Mike's OG Academy, we do everything you guys need to know about golf instruction, whether it be golf course vlogs, golf instructional videos, golf tips videos like this one. Again, everything you guys need to know about golf instruction, we do it here. So if you guys haven't already, hit that little red subscribe button. You guys are going to be notified every time we drop a video. So welcome to this analysis between Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka. Who has the most optimal swing? So first things first, let's talk about macro ideas. What do I want you to bring away from this analysis? Well, the first macro idea that I want you guys to bring away is when we're debating between each other in the comment section, which is a war zone, I want you guys to have a definition of what I believe optimal swing is, and then we can kind of base our arguments around that. If we don't agree on what optimal swing means, we're probably not going to come to a debate that's going to be beneficial for both parties, right? So keeping that in mind, let's kind of get into what I would define an optimal swing. So optimal swing to me doesn't just mean that they're winning major championships and they're winning tournaments. It's more so about their ball striking statistics and are they the best basically in this regards. Now, with this particular analysis, we're not saying the best out of everyone, we're saying the best between these two players. So that's another important key point to kind of take home. And then the last thing from there, we're going to basically just go into ideas around how these two swings differ and basically just give a little bit more supporting evidence on why I think one player's swing is more optimal than the other. So first part of the analysis, let's get into the statistics and we're going to go take a look at Brooks Koepka.
First play from West Palm Beach, Florida, Brooks Koepka.
So with Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, I believe them to be known for their drivers and their driving ability, right? So we're going to go key in on off the tee stats first. So the first one we're going to look at is strokes gained off the tee, right? That just means how many strokes gained relative to the PGA Tour are they doing with their driving off the tee. Doesn't necessarily mean they're hitting driver off the tee. It's just all their off the tee shots, basically. So Brooks Koepka has a very impressive stat here. He's ranked 9th out of the PGA Tour in strokes gained off the tee. He gains right around 0.6 of a stroke to the field on average throughout the whole season, and that's measured over 50 rounds for Brooks Koepka. So 9th place is very, very impressive. Again, guys, the differences between the 170th ranked player on the PGA Tour and a top 10 PGA Tour is vast, incredibly large. It'd be something like a scratch golfer relative to about a 30 handicap. So even though the numbers are going to be really, really small between those differences, the ability level to get down to that next level is incredibly difficult to do. And you can talk to any journeyman PGA Tour player, any kind of PGA Tour player, and they will say the same thing. It is incredibly difficult to do. So next stat we're going to kind of go through is just a basic kind of driver stats. Driving distance, he averages right around 313 yards. That places him over at 8th place. Driving accuracy percentage, he's over at 56%, which is placing him right around 158th, which is definitely on the lower end of the PGA Tour. Now from here, the next stat I want to look at is distance from the edge of the fairway. What does that mean? Well, when he misses the fairway, how far on average is he away from missing the fairway, right? That's a pretty important stat. He's right around 31 feet off of the fairway. To give you a reference point, just imagine a basketball hoop, and there's 3 of those between him and the edge of the fairway. That places him right around 171st on the PGA Tour, which again is towards that lower end. Left rough tendency over right rough tendency, which side does he typically miss on? It says here that he typically misses more on the left side if he does miss, and that's right around 18%. He misses on the right side right around 14%. So those two categories are placing him right around 182nd and 93rd. Total driving, he's right around 69th place, which is pretty good. That's getting towards the lower end of the PGA Tour, which is a great stat to have. Club head speed, which is a very important part to the modern golfing days, right? You need to be hitting it really, really far. He's at 122 miles per hour, and that places him right at 4th place, which is incredible, right? He's swinging it very, very fast. Total driving efficiency, he's over at 115th, which is kind of So all in all, he has some very standalone points in terms of his distance, but he is, and his strokes gained with driving, but in terms of accuracy, maybe not the best driver in the world, right? But strokes gained with driver or off the tee, he's in the top, he's like top 10. So that just goes to show that you don't have to be necessarily accurate to score with your driving or off the tee shots. You really just have to be hitting it in the correct positions. You can miss fairways, you can hit it all over the lot, but if you're hitting it all over the lot in a position where you can still go at the green with a short wedge in your hand, you're probably still going to be hitting a lot of greens and getting it closer to the hole than you would with those players who are hitting it from 175 from the fairway on average. Cool. Now, next thing we're going to just briefly get into is approach to the green. Just because we know he's not the most accurate driver in terms of hitting fairways, let's just kind of look at his rough proximity. That's right around 42 feet and 6 inches. So rough proximity just means on average all the shots that he missed the fairway, that's pretty much his proximity to the hole. Now, I'm not quite sure when they stop the measurements. Does it go all the way out to 250 yards from the rough, or does it stop at a certain increment? I don't really know. If you guys want to find that out and fact check me, go ahead, bring it up in the comment section. I'd be actually really interested to hear about that. That places him right around 38th on the PGA Tour, which is pretty good right there. Now, the left rough proximity, right rough proximity, he's right around 40 feet 10 inches from the left rough, right rough 44 feet and 5 inches. We're not going to get too much into that stat. Then the last one I wanted to take a look at is fairway proximity, and he's over at 28 feet and 7 inches, which places him in 5th in the PGA Tour. So when he's in the fairway, he's hitting it close. And because we know he hits it so far, when he's in the fairway, he most likely has a short iron in his hand, and that's why he has that good of a proximity to the hole. Now, just some basic 2018 stats. Let's go over kind of, let's see, official money earned that year. He won right around $7 million, $94,047. So pretty much right around $7 million. That places him 5th in the money rankings. Official world golf ranking, he is in 3rd after 2018. So obviously a very, very good season. I know he won the US Open and the PGA Championship, so definitely a breakout year for Koepka. And just amazing to kind of see what type of golf this guy can play, because again, even though both of these players were going to be probably bashing on their swings a little bit, I would say they have great golf swings and obviously overall very, very good golf games.
Good swing there, mate.
Oh, that is a really good swing. You are so correct, Jason.
Yes.
Cool, so let's go over to Dustin Johnson. We're going to take a look at some similar stats. So the first one we're going to go into is strokes gained off the tee. So Dustin Johnson is first out of everyone on the PGA Tour with strokes gained off the tee. That just means, well, let's get to the stat first. He's basically getting a stroke on average to the field with his tee shots. And that's ranking him right at first, and that's measured through 58 rounds. Let's get into driving distance real quick. He's over at 314 yards. That places him at 6th on the PGA Tour. If we go into driving accuracy percentage, he's over at 58%, which is 138th, which is, again, not that good of a stat. Let's see. Let's go into some more off the tee real quick as well. Okay, so let's go into the same stat we did with Brooks Koepka. Distance from edge of fairway, he's right around 28 feet and 1 inch. That places him right around 122nd. Let's go into left rough, right rough tendencies. Which side does he typically miss on? That's going to be more so on the right rough side at 17%. That places him at 149th on the tour. Total driving, he's right around 144, whichever, well, I don't really know what that means, but that places him at 42nd on the tour. Again, if any of these stats you guys want to fact check me or give me a better understanding of what that stat means to help the argument or in the debate, comment below and let me know. Total driving, we already went over that. Club head speed, 121 miles and 38.38. That places him at 10th on the PGA Tour, a little bit less than Koepka at that stat. And total driving efficiency, he's right around 60th. Let's go a few more stats in the approach to the green just to kind of see what his driving does. Again, he's getting a little bit more strokes gained off the tee than Koepka does. So let's kind of look at his rough proximity from the hole. He's right around 37 feet and 4 inches, which places him first on the PGA Tour. So when DJ's hitting it in the rough, he's better than anyone else at getting it close to the hole, which is amazing a stat to have, especially when you're only hitting 58% of fairways. You want that stat to be pretty good, and his obviously is. Left rough and right rough, we're not going to go into. Fairway proximity, he's over at 27 feet 8 inches, which again places him at first on the PGA Tour. So when he's in the fairway, he's hitting it very, very close. Again, because he's a bomber, he has wedges in, and we know the big reason on why he kind of started breaking through and winning majors was because he put a lot of work with TrackMan and his coach into dialing in his wedges, right? So first place fairway proximity is very, very good. And if you guys want to go take a look at these stats, this is all taken off pgatour.com/player, you know, put their ID in and all that stuff. Cool. So let's get into a few other kind of official money won. He won right around $8 million. $8 million and 500,000 is kind of, if you round it off, right around there. That places him second on the PGA Tour money list, and it definitely beats off Koepka. And then from there, and then the official world golf ranking, he is first at 10.36. So let's kind of go into optimal swing ideas now. Let's take these stats and let's kind of build an argument around what we just found out. So the first stat we're going to look at is, let's just go off strokes gained off the tee. So DJ is gaining right around a stroke to the field. Koepka's gaining right around 0.6 of a stroke. So DJ's obviously beating him in that category. So he's getting more strokes to the field with his tee shots. Now let's go into greens and regulation percentage. Now I know this is a very kind of vague stat, but it does give some type of insight, but let's just kind of go into that. He's 70.63%, which places him 14th on the tour. If we go look at Koepka, his greens and regulation is 68%, and that places him at 57th, right? So just a few percentages definitely bumps you back a bit, right? And DJ's beating him in that category. Now the next category I want to go into that we talked about was, let's go into distance from edge of fairway, which I think is super important, because it's okay if you're missing 58% of fairways. It's not the end of the world if you're missing it by like 5 feet, right? So distance from edge of fairway is a pretty important stat, I would say, because when you miss, how much do you miss by? And Koepka is missing it right around 31 feet. If we go take a look at DJ's missing it right around 28 feet, right? Which is 3 feet of difference, which definitely places him a little bit lower in the rankings. Both of those players don't rank very high for that stat, but between the two players, which is the argument we stated earlier, who has the most optimal swing, that's definitely another point towards DJ's side right there. Now, let's go into club head speed, which is definitely debate. DJ's over at 121. Koepka's topping him out at 122, just by like literally a few like a percentage. And that puts Koepka with more club head speed, which usually equals more distance, right? Unless their efficiency of strike is different and all that good stuff. But that would put Koepka, in terms of club head speed, a tick for his side on having the more optimal golf swing. Because again, club head speed does go into the play of having an optimal golf swing in this modern day. You do need to hit the ball far. Cool. Total driving efficiency, Koepka's over at 115th. If we look at DJ, he's over at 60th, which is definitely beating him in that category as well. So far, DJ has the better stats out of all of them. And the last thing we're going to look at, DJ stats, is rough proximity and fairway proximity. He's ranked first. If we take a look at Koepka, Koepka is 38th from the rough proximity and 5th from the fairway. So then DJ beats him in that category as well. So based off these 2018 stats and the statistics that we looked at in terms of ball striking, so far my argument is that DJ has the most optimal golf swing in 2018 out of these players. Now, if we wanted to make who has the most optimal swing yet, there's more kind of ways we'd have to go down and look. We'd have to look at multiple seasons and see who's the better ball striker. We also have to take into the fact that DJ's been on the scene maybe a little bit longer than Koepka, so if we give Koepka more time, is he going to catch up? Those kind of ideas we really would have to dive into. So it's a very hard argument to make as a factual statement over all of their career so far. Who is the better ball striker? Because there's a lot of different variables that you can use for one player's side for an argument, but can't really use for the other player. So you really kind of have to, if you want to make who has the most optimal swing argument, you really got to narrow down what you mean by that, and you can't make it broad, or else you're just no one's gonna really agree with each other. So what I'm trying to make here is, with this argument, I would say based off of 2018 statistics, Dustin Johnson has the most optimal swing. Based off of 2018 statistics, in the year 2018, Dustin Johnson had the more optimal golf swing. That's how narrow I'm gonna make this. That's how niche we're gonna make this argument. Now, if you guys disagree with me with that argument, comment below, let's start a debate, and let's make it healthy, and let's get everyone kind of bringing value to some other people. Cool, so that's pretty much what we're gonna finish off with statistics. Now, keeping the statistics in mind, now let's get into kind of the golf swings and figure out, why is Dustin Johnson have a better statistics in 2018? What is he doing differently in his golf swing? And what can we all kind of take home from both of these golf swings and implement into our games, which is the most important part of this video, so you guys can go get better. So let's go hop into the video analysis.